Get out of my light, Ben.
Alright, who the hell are you?
I am Paul Adams from Long Beach, California. I'm out here in Kentucky with Nick Apicella. Is it recording? So we're here at the MECA World Finals 2019. This is my third time driving out from the West Coast. It's a long drive,
Yeah.
Fucking 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah, it's just 2 hours.
Wow, that was
It's
as long
two-
as my flight.
it's
How
two-
fast are you driving? Jesus.
2,000 miles in distance. So we did
One way.
it in 2 days.
Wow.
1,000 miles a day. And we normally take 3 days, but we wanted to get here and get acclimated. This is a very exciting event. Get to see guys that I never see all year long, just chat back and forth online and Diamond on Facebook, and get to see some of the best cars in the world installed by some of the best installers in the world. And you got guys from back in the 90s that are still out here competing with their cars. So it's very good to be out here, and it's very exciting. A lot of energy.
It's like a mixing pot.
It is. It's big time. It's crazy. And you talk mess with people online, but it's a different feeling when you're in person with them. There's more camaraderie than anger, but there is a lot of anger here too. There's a
Depends on how you do.
There's a lot of people that talk a lot of shit, and there's a lot of people that deserve to have shit put upon them. But overall, everybody gets along, and it's really good. It's a lot of energy here. So we're here with Nick, looking at my car, which is the back-to-back MECA Street World Champion. We're trying to get a three-peat. Only person that's done back-to-back in my class ever has been Kurt Profit, who was a legend unto himself. And
Wait,
really
when was he doing street? Years ago, that must
years
have been,
ago.
right?
A long time. Like, I had to look it up in the archives.
Wow.
But nobody's done a three-peat.
Oh.
So that's
you're up
what
for that right
I'm
now.
trying to get it.
You sweating? Is that why you're sweating right now?
Makeup. So today, third generation of this vehicle. First installer
Well, what kind of car is this?
It's a 2008 Lexus GS 460. Not a Lexus GS 300, not a Lexus GS 350 like everybody else has. This is the big body,
460.
big engine,
Big body for a big baller.
big boy. That's
Big boy.
right.
Oh.
Sitting on 20s and coilovers. And we were just recently in Pass Magazine, in the anniversary edition. We are in there as one of the cars. We're fortunate enough to be there. But this system is, again, the third generation. It is, you'll see the panels, some of them are missing, but the majority of the panels are from the first generation. So the shape and cutouts are from JT Audio in Cerritos, California. JT is probably one of the top installers. Detail. I hate it to change things because everything was cut to the precise length that it needed to be. It was where it was by purpose. And he has a long waiting list of people. So what we have here is amplification is true technology. We have a 4-channel tungsten that runs the center channel and rear fill, a 2-channel tungsten that runs the tweeters, a 2-channel grande that is running the mid-ranges, 2-channel tungsten that's running the sub, and then which is this AD 15-inch Vapira, and then this last amp is a 2-channel tungsten that's running the mid basses. All the speakers in the vehicle are audio development with the exception of the tweeters, which are scans.
Or scans.
They're scans.
Didn't you have focal last
I
year?
did. No.
2 years ago.
Last 2 years ago, the original system was Focal Utopia, tweeter, 3-inch mid-range and 6-inch mid-bass. Rear fill was Illusion Audio C3CXs, center channel was Illusion Audio C3CX, and the subs were Illusion Audio C12CXL, and they were behind the panel here before.
Yeah. So wait, how many amps are in here total?
5.
You don't see two, because I noticed you went 4-channel, 2-channel. I was like, huh.
There's a seam right here,
Oh.
and then a seam right there.
You can't even see that.
You probably won't even see that on video.
Yeah.
2 amplifiers.
And then 2 there. So this is the 2-channel and 4-channel share the same chassis.
Yeah.
Nobody can have these amps.
Except for you,
These
because you know
amps
you're you,
are
right?
custom made for me by John Lee.
They're actually, aren't they the title sponsor of finals?
They are, yes, for the event this year. There are upgrades in these that cannot be purchased.
Oh.
So he will never sell these amps in the configuration that they're in. They also have, the tweeters and mid-range have Class A line drivers. The mid-range has a Class A preamp on it, which changes
the input
way
circuit of the amp.
Yes.
All right. That's interesting.
So we have a 3-way setup in the front, center channel, rear fill, and the sub. So
For
all
a
those
street class car, that's
street
that's a
class.
lot.
It is.
This
That's-
car must come with some pretty interesting OEM
It
locations.
came in as a Mark Levinson system, which had 2-way in the front, in the corners, 2-way in the center as a center channel, 6.5-inch doors, 6.5-inch door back doors, tweeters in the top of the back doors. In the back of the window, there are 2 speakers.
So pretty much this car, you know, in competing in street class, allows you a lot of different
I have
options.
so many holes, we have to fill them with something.
Okay. Well, let's, why don't you show me the front? What's going on in the front? All right.
Originally, we were running off the factory system, which is the DVD changer and not the cassette player. Still has
Why, you
a
don't like
factory
cassettes?
cassette
You
with
don't like
Dolby
cassettes?
B,
Oh.
no doubt. So
Fancy.
the second generation of the car ran off the Sony GSX-9.
GS9.
GS9.
RSX GS9.
Yeah, thank you. That.
Wow, most frustrating
And
radio in existence.
That was in the glove box, and now we're running off the iPhone, and it's going through some devices into the topping D10 DAC, which is sending a signal back out through coax to the Alpine PXE 0850S processor, and that processor is processing all the channels with the exception of the center and rear fill, which are processed via Alpine H800, which is the old school processor, but it's the
It's
only
not that
one.
old school, but it's
They
old
still,
enough.
but they still sell it too. That's
Yeah.
because there's nothing else that can do what
There's
it does.
no other processor on the market with a, like, I guess certified
Yes.
mixer.
Correct.
Um,
There are a couple of people that are.
it has Dolby.
Correct.
It has Dolby and it has PL2.
PL2.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
I mean,
there are a couple of people that
there's
are
other
coming out with
processors
stuff.
that have up mixers, but nothing like Dolby or Logic
Correct.
or anything like that.
Correct. There's a couple that are on the way up. Andy's got one coming out for Audio Frog, and
Yep.
Helix is supposed to come out with another one as well,
No, they have it.
a new one.
Oh, another new one.
So the Ultra's coming out in the next few weeks.
Yeah, but it's still the same algorithm as the other one.
There's another one coming up.
Oh, so you know more than I
I
do.
have an inside track on something about that, but
Uh-huh.
I don't have details, so I can't really say it. Alpine's also coming out with something that will replace the F1 system, but I don't know when that's coming out. I just know that it's coming out, and it's going to be a replacement for the H800 finally. This is the controller.
What is this for? This is for the Alpine?
Correct. So this gives me volume control, and the application in the iPhone gives me full control over the processor. So I don't need to pull a laptop out. I can connect to the processor via Bluetooth. Though I don't have the Bluetooth turned on now because I don't want anybody to get to my system.
Why not?
Yeah, that's all I need is somebody changing my settings on my processor. So the tweeters, I don't know the model number of the scans.
Those are the R3004.
Thank you. They're 3/4 inch.
Illuminators. R3000.
And these are only...
Oh wait, those are the 3/4 inch?
3/4 inch, not
so those
the full
are the
inch.
R2004 then.
Thank you. They are,
those are good.
Only 4 days old.
What is wrong with you guys with swapping gear days before finals? What
let's put it this way. I lost in street class in California because I had a tweeter failure.
Or is it because I helped out Chuck? I'm messing with you.
I will not take anything away from Chuck's championship. I know why I lost, but Chuck is a good guy, and I'll never take that away. I should have been prepared, regardless of what it was, failure of a part or not. So, and that's why I brought him out here. Because if I lose here, I have a very good chance of winning, but if I lose, I hope Chuck wins. So
West Coast
it's coming back with the West Coast.
West Coast pride? Okay.
That's right. You know, we got love for the West Coast. Man. It's a long drive.
East Coast, man. Forget that West Coast stuff. We're going back to Biggie and Tupac days.
Coast. There you go. We're going to have to do a mashup.
So who did these pillars?
These pillars are JT Audio's original pillars, and those originally had the beryllium tweeters from Focal in them.
Okay.
And we outfitted them to put the scans in. The center channel speaker is a custom-made speaker from Audio Development. It's a coax.
Really?
So it's a 3-inch mid-range and a 3/4 inch dome, soft dome tweeter. There's also a matching set in the back window that you had seen earlier for rear fill. And then in the corners in the dash are Audio Development ISA 3 mid-ranges. Mid-ranges.
God,
that would
look at you guys.
That would be tough. And then in the door, we have the Audio Development S600 mid-bass. They're beast. That's all I have to say is
they are.
There's nothing that I can put in that spot that I've heard yet that will sound better than them.
You tried the ESA bass?
I don't know if they'll sound as musical as these.
Really?
I know that they'll give me more bass.
Wait till you check Trend's car.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
He bailed on me the other day.
Well, check it out.
He bailed on me the other day. He was supposed to come take his car out.
Emilio's told me that if I wanted to step it up, then I need the MM6.
That's what he told me too for Paul's car.
But he also said that if I'm happy with what I have, don't do the upgrade. So he's trying to sell his product, but he's not trying to sell it to just make a quick sale on you. Yeah. So I appreciate that. If I can get a little bit out of it.
Emilio's is a good dude. I've been dealing with him for about a year now, and I've noticed he's saying he don't sell you on something you don't need.
He'll push you. He said, well, the symphonies are probably the best that you can get, but if you're happy with what you have, keep it. So if we feel we need to change things, then we have other options. So, but I'm very happy with the installers. The current install for the wiring and the amplifier layout and install was Scott Butler at Bespoke Audio. The wires and for the speakers and the RCAs are custom by Scott for his other company, which is Sonoy. And all I have to say is those are some oh shit cables.
What does that mean?
You plug them in and the first thing out of your mouth is oh shit. They sound so... Whoever tells you, and I don't care who they are, Andy Waymeyer, that if you plug in an RCA and you put it into the same slot that you pulled out another one with something playing, that you will not be able to tell the difference. Those RCA cables made a gigantic difference. and 3 people heard it in the
I've
back
yet to
of Jim
test.
Becker's car. And Jim Becker's Range Rover, which was running some 80 speakers in the front, and Scott and I were in the back. We plugged them in on the tweeters, and the stage widened from the back of the car. We heard. We saw with our ears the stage widen. And all 3 of us at the same time said, oh shit.
Really?
Even Scott wasn't expecting it to be that big of a change.
What was he running before?
He was running some Audio Quest.
Okay.
I believe they were the Golden Gates.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I also was running, and they sounded really good until I put this noise in.
I've yet to test cables. I've yet to do it.
Yeah, we're actually going to try it. We've several people have tried the cables. Eric Chan, who used to work for Alpine, tried them. Another one of our customers, one of Scott's customers rather, tried them against some high-end home audio cables, and he was blown away with them.
Really?
So the RCA cables that most people are selling, they buy the cables from a retailer,
Wherever,
and then
put their
they
name.
solder cable ends on them, and they sell them,
Yeah.
shrink wrap.
So they get
Scott-
shrink wrap with their logo on it.
Scott went to the wire company, gave them the spec of the wire, the dielectric to go on the wire, and then purchased them in 22 gauge. So if we need a thicker cable, we just add strands to it. So the tweeters are running 2-strand cables. The mid-ranges are running 3-strand cables. The mid-basses are running 6-strand cables, and the subs running 6-strand cables. And it bumps up the gauge. I forget what the gauge is, but I believe the tweeters are probably in the...
Well, as you add more, you're
Right.
lowering the gauge.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's... yeah, exactly. But it's making a bigger cable.
Yeah.
By using...
Yeah.
So I didn't understand the reasoning, but now I do, because of the skinning effect of electricity on wire. It wants to go on the outside of the wire rather than down the core of the wire. And so you get a bigger cable, and you're still only going to have a little bit of electricity going down the wire. So if you have a bunch of little wires, you'll get more.
Are they individually isolated?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Each one.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then he uses a high silver solder, so it's really high quality solder. And all the speaker cables are soldered at the speaker, no connectors. And then they're connected directly to the amplifiers. The RCA cables, he's using Cardis connectors. And once the line launches completely, he's going to offer WBT connectors as well, which are, I guess, the highest in quality.
Within
cable.
reason.
Yeah.
So even those are ridiculously expensive.
Oh yeah.
Like $50 a pop.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's I have a whole lot of RCAs in here because I have line conditioners on each channel, plus the amps.
Oh my god.
And the processor.
So you got 6 speakers, 7 speakers up front, 2 in the rear, sub. That's what? That's 10?
Yes.
Is that 10? I can't do math well. That's 10 speakers total. So you got at least 10 after the processor. You got, like you said,
then
line
each one's
drivers.
going to a line driver.
Then you got, well, this is running digital, right? To the topping, and then a digital
Correct.
out? Is it digital out,
Digital
right?
out, yeah.
All
So
right.
there's no source RCAs.
So you
going
got
into
probably
it.
something like 13 plus RCAs.
Man, maybe. No, it's more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's each channel plus
Plus
there's 2,
inputs.
because
Oh, and
remember it's
output.
going
Oh
to
my God.
processors
Yeah.
and line conditioners.
You probably got almost 20 RCAs.
I think it's like 50 something connectors.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is like over 25 cables.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. Oh shit.
That's
Just
a-
realizing how much
That's
they
a
cost.
lot of wiring. Yeah, talk to Paul Tran about that.
But
oh my God.
It does make a difference. And every little bit, the audio quests were really, really good quality sounding. it just is. There's just a difference though with his wire, as is there would be with the cables that TAM makes and some other people make.
Okay.
But we're very happy with what we're doing here, and hopefully we can get our three-peat.
Maybe.
And then we'll see.
And then what? What after the three-peat? Let's say you get the three-peat. What next?
We'll probably look at switching classes, maybe.
What would you do?
Maybe Mott Street.
Well, I mean, forget the class. What changes would you make in this car if you could? Like, if you weren't competing, what would you do?
I would probably switch to tweeters. I love these tweeters, but there's another tweeter that I've been looking at, Blycema.
Yeah. They would put you out of the street class. They're just too big.
No. If Steve Cook can put giant tweeters in Brazelton's
well, you could put them
Lexus.
off axis.
Yeah.
But
so
do you want a 1.5-inch tweeter off axis?
Well, no.
That's
The
thing.
tweeter's only 34 millimeters. It's within
it's an
spec
inch
for
and a
my
half.
class.
But I'm saying, but it also has a 4-inch faceplate.
That doesn't matter.
I know, but getting it on axis would put the pillar usually past the 2-inch.
Yeah, we can cut in.
Oh yeah, and JT being JT, Scott being Scott, you guys can figure something.
We can figure it out, and then I would maybe do either a Scan mid-range, a Morel mid-range, or MM4.
MM4s are nice.
They are. I really like them.
Yeah.
As much as I like these, I like the MM4s a little bit.
What mid-range
better.
is that again?
This is the ISA 3.
Okay.
So this is the largest mid-range that audio development makes below the top of the line.
Yeah.
The only other thing I would possibly do would be to look for, I guess, a unicorn, which would be a MM12 sub.
You ain't getting those. Me and Paul got the last two.
You never know. We might convince them to start production again.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I think they were talking. Emilius was hinting that they were thinking about doing another version.
Why wouldn't you want to make more money?
But you have to spend time and money to develop it for only 5 people to buy it.
Well, I think they'd sell it more to 5.
They would. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean.
What do they have to develop? Isn't the tooling already there?
Well,
I'd imagine.
If they're making a new model, I don't know.
Keep it.
We'll see.
Just keep it the same.
See.
And then the only other thing would be,
Kicks,
I'd be interested. No, there's not enough room for kicks in here. It's
yeah, you got that annoying little.
that. But even over
brake.
here, it's just it's a tiny triangle. It's only like that big, and
Yeah, that's true.
it's not worth it. But maybe the Symphony
Grandioso.
I still haven't
Those
heard
are
them.
sweet. No, we're doing them in a car that's from California right now.
Whose car?
You don't know.
Yeah,
He's from
then-
NorCal. He's not in the competition scene. You
How do
don't
you know
know.
I don't know him?
Huh?
How do you know I don't know him?
I know you don't know.
I know a lot of people.
Boy,
I know.
what's his last name?
That's what his last name is.
No, it's not.
Damn it.
You don't know him. I got you. You lying son of a bitch. You lying
But I might
son
have
of a
seen him
bitch.
before.
You haven't. I guarantee you. He's on Dima. Rainstar.
I don't know anybody named Rainstar.
Yeah, well, that's him.
Well, I'm on Dima,
Yeah, exactly.
but very rarely. 'cause
yeah,
it's-
so is he, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, so.
Cool dude. Crazy in terms of what he wants to do to his car.
Well,
But cool.
he's sending it to the right person.
Yeah, maybe.
You can get down. You get a lot of mad props from a lot of people across the country. So, if you weren't so far and I weren't so busy, I would send a car to you. But this is a daily driver, so
Yeah. And you got better people. You know, you got great people out there.
There's great
JT,
people.
dude, I look up to JT. That dude can install.
He can ride a roller coaster like nobody's business.
Well, yeah, that's true. And he can install like nobody's goddamn
Yeah,
business.
yeah, he is. It's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
And
too.
Scott is sick too.
Oh yeah.
Scott is no goddamn slouch. That being said, is there anything else about your car? You know, maybe any tips to new guys coming out? Because street class seems to be a class that a lot of new guys enter. Any
It's,
tips for some new guys?
So I would echo what a lot of the other people say. Don't build your car for a class, build your car for you, and then let it fall into a class.
Build it to have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy your system.
You should enjoy it because in the day, you compete one day, you're driving it every day.
Yeah.
And you have to be happy with it. And don't let anybody try to convince you that one thing is better than the other because they've heard something. Hear it for yourself. Go out to events. There are events all over the country. There aren't as many as there should be, but there's a lot more than you think there are. There may only be a few people, but the more events you go to, then the more people will start having at them. And
That's the point of these videos.
It is. It's a great hobby. Keeps people off the street. It keeps people poor. They can't go out and do anything because they're spending all their money on the car. But with that said, they'll be home listening to music in their car. And if you have to commute, there's nothing better than having a really good audio system in your car.
Yeah.
And the factory systems sound good, but these systems sound phenomenal. So.
All right. Anything else? Any closing words?
I think this is a really great idea by Nick. He's the innovator for a lot of different things. He's very active online. In fact, I don't think he sleeps.
I don't.
Because the phone will ding and I'm like, oh shit, it's Nick. He's just responded to somebody. And then, but he's always got good information, and that's the really good key, is that he's informative. He's got a lot of knowledge on the products, and he can steer you in the right direction. He's not trying to sell you a specific brand, but he can give you info on the products that are out there. You need to go to shows because there's so many things that you don't know about, and you'll see them here at the event. You probably don't even know what audio development is, but you come out to the events and you'll see what it is as a symphony or a scan speak or a Dyer or Audio Frog. And then when you come to these events and you get into the meat and potatoes of it, you're going to find that some of these guys are the engineers that put your cars together. Nathan.
Oh yeah, I want to interview him.
Yeah,
if I
mean,
get
this
him.
car comes
I'm
with
intimidated
a
to even talk to him.
factory Mark Levinson sound system. How cool is it that the guy that tunes these systems is here competing with a custom Lexus system in his Suzuki Swift? How freaking cool is that?
That's impressive.
It is.
That's impressive.
With,
I want
with another speaker that nobody's heard of, Eaton's.
Yeah.
I've heard of them.
We've heard them. The thing, they're in the U.S., but not in the car audio market. They have raw drivers. They make really nice.
And they're not a daily name like Pioneer or Sony or something like that.
No.
But I mean, back in the day, before you were even thought of,
man,
Dines were like that.
Yeah.
They were just raw drivers. And
yeah. They even still are in some ways.
Yep. So.
All right. Cool. Well,
Thanks.
thank you for showing us your car.
Thank
Good
you
luck this
for.
year.
Thank you.
Safe travels home. I do not envy your drive.
Well, it's comfortable.
30-something hours?
It's about 30 hours.
Oh my God. God bless
but thank God it's a Lexus and it's comfortable. So.